Exposed, my incredible journey of living rent-free with family, then faced a heartwarming choice. Sarah Johnson felt the world crumbling around her as she stood beneath the flickering neon sign of the diner she had called home for the better part of a decade. A waitress since high school, her dreams of becoming a writer seemed to evaporate along with her job during the pandemic. With nowhere to go, she packed her bags, leaving the city behind and making the long trek back to the suburban neighborhood of her childhood, back to the modest home she once ran from. As she stepped through the creaking front door, the air felt heavy with the weight of unspoken words, memories wrapping around her like a shroud. Her father, a grizzled Vietnam veteran, greeted her with a stoic nod, a ghost of the man she once knew. The years of silence between them were deafening as she settled into the familiar yet haunting atmosphere of the small house. The wallpaper bore scars of faded memories, and the ticking clock echoed with every heartbeat of their estranged connection. Could she mend what had been broken? In the vibrant embrace of suburbia, Sarah found comfort in the familiar faces of neighbors, but it quickly became clear that the pandemic had affected them all. As she walked the quiet streets, she noticed the shadows of struggle in her community. The local community center, once a bustling hub, was a dimmed beacon of hope. It became her sanctuary, filling the void left by her lost dreams. There, she met the elderly war buddies of her father, forgotten by many yet rich in stories. Their eyes sparkled with liveliness as they shared tales of bravery and heartache. With every encounter, she began to see her father's muted pain in a new light, a man hardened by experiences she could never truly understand. As the weeks went by, Sarah found herself drawn to the idea of organizing a storytelling event, bridging generations through shared narratives. The thought filled her with hope. This event could heal not only her heart but her father's, as well. With every story shared, she felt a flicker of connection igniting between them, rekindling a bond that had long extinguished. But then, just as the pieces started falling into place, her phone buzzed with an unexpected offer, a lucrative job, a chance to escape the weight of dependency. It tugged at her heart, amplifying the conflict surging within her. Could success really come at the cost of the fragile relationship she was beginning to build with her father? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Standing at the crossroads, Sarah felt the heat of decision weighing down on her. Chase the American dream or nurture the bonds that had been so painstakingly rebuilt. Her heart raced with excitement and fear as she prepared for the storytelling event. Would her neighbors embrace her effort? And would her father discover a sense of pride that had eluded him for far too long? As the day approached, Sarah could sense the lines of her future blurring, her dreams and family ties intertwined in a delicate tapestry. Would she honor the struggles of those who came before her or leap towards the shimmering promise of success? The question loomed large, her heart poised for the next chapter. The evening of the storytelling event arrived, and Sarah's heart thudded in her chest like a runaway drum. The community center buzzed with a mix of anticipation and uncertainty. Folding chairs filled the room, a sea of familiar faces and some new ones, others worn with lines of struggle. Each face told a story of resilience, echoing her own journey. She glanced at her father seated at the back, arms crossed, his expression unreadable. Part of her longed for a nod of encouragement from him, a signal that they were in this together. Determined, she took a deep breath and stepped onto the small stage, the makeshift podium a familiar yet foreign place. Under the dim lights, she felt the weight of every story she was about to share pressing on her shoulders. "Welcome, everyone," she said, her voice shaking slightly as she shifted her notes. "Tonight, we're here to connect through our stories, to celebrate the struggles and victories that make us who we are." Each word felt heavy, yet she powered through as she glanced at her father again. She caught a flicker of something in his eyes, a spark she thought might be pride. As the first storyteller took the floor, Sarah watched, captivated. A neighbor, Mrs. Hughes, shared her tale of losing her husband to illness and finding solace in gardening. Her voice trembled but resonated with strength, sparking a chorus of murmurs and nods from the audience. Sarah felt that flicker turn into warmth. As the narratives unfolded, it was as if they were sewing together a tapestry of shared experiences. Thread by thread, Sarah's heart swelled as the stories transformed the atmosphere. The once strained connections began to blossom like flowers breaking through the frost. After each story, there was laughter, tears, and heartfelt applause. As she got ready to share her own story, she felt a deep sense of belonging she had been chasing for years. When her turn finally arrived, she approached the microphone with a notebook in hand. She began to share her journey, her struggles in the city, her lost dreams, and her return home. But she focused on her relationship with her father. For so long, I thought I was alone in my suffering, but I see now that my struggles mirror those of my father and neighbors, she said, searching the faces in the crowd. We're all in this together. Each of our stories is a thread that binds us, helping us heal. As she spoke, she caught sight of her father again. This time, she saw the glimmer of tears in his eyes. A small smile broke through the lines of hardship on his face, and for a moment, time stood still. They were connected in a way that felt newfound and beautiful. The room erupted in applause, and she could hardly believe the warmth spreading through her. She had done something important tonight, but as the event wrapped up, her phone buzzed once more, another reminder of the job offer waiting for her. The potential for a fresh start sat heavy in her pocket, contrasting sharply against the warmth of community she had just experienced. She stared at her father, who was now standing up, making his way towards her. His smile was bigger, and the weight of that unspoken word was slowly lifting. "Sarah, you really brought us back to life tonight," he said, his voice coarse yet full of emotion. "What if I take that job?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper but so loud against the backdrop of laughter and conversation around them. His eyes met hers, the question hanging heavy. Would life in the city mean leaving this newfound hope behind? The choice she faced felt more complex than ever. Could she choose both her dreams and her family without sacrificing one for the other? As memories from the evening echoed around her, Sarah considered the direction of her life again. Suddenly, the lights dimmed a little more, and whispers of laughter faded into the shadows. What would she decide? How could she honor both paths? Her heart raced with possibility and uncertainty, leaving a sense of urgency lingering in the air as she braced herself for the next chapter. The chatter around the community center began to fade, replaced by the steady thrum of Sarah's heart. Her father's gaze weighed on her, searching, inviting, pushing her to choose. It felt as though the world hung in that moment, suspended between the pull of her family and the magnetic curl of ambition. "Sarah, this can be your chance," he said, his voice steadier now. "I never wanted you to feel trapped in this town. Go for it. Live your dreams." The pride was evident in his tone, yet a flicker of something else danced in his eyes. Fear, perhaps? Was he scared to lose his daughter to the city, to the unknown? "But what if I leave this connection we found tonight?" Sarah replied, gesturing around the room filled with people who just 3 hours earlier felt like strangers. Now they felt like an extension of her family, bound together by shared struggles and laughter. "I don't want to abandon what we built here." Her father stepped closer, the crowd's lingering applause still tingling in the air. "You won't be abandoning us, Sarah. You'll be carrying us with you." He reached out, his weathered hand brushing against hers, grounding her. "You've got your whole life ahead of you. You can't let fear of distance dictate your choices." His words struck deep, reverberating within her. She thought of the city, of the billboards and bright lights, the thrill of new possibilities. But then she let her gaze wander back to the room. The faces, smiles, tears and warmth filled her chest. There was a long way to go, but this place was her foundation. "Maybe I can do both," she said, carefully testing the thought like a delicate tune. "I could take the job, but return often. Get involved here, keep our community strong." A flicker of recognition crossed her father's face, the corners of his lips hinting at a smile. "That's it. You don't have to choose one over the other all the time. Life is about balance. Just like that story Mrs. Hughes told about tending her garden. You have to nurture what you love, wherever it grows." Encouraged, Sarah looked over the audience, who were wrapped in the afterglow of stories told and shared. But as her fingers curled around her phone, she felt the weight of the job offer pressing again, a reminder of the city that could pull her away. "I just want to make the right choice," she said, uncertain whether to feel hopeful or anxious. A hush fell over the crowd as the night wound down, but the air buzzed with energy. She felt exhilarated, yet the fear of losing this moment lingered. What was right? Could she do both? In that fleeting moment, Sarah's phone buzzed again, shattering her thoughts. She glanced down at the screen. It was a message from the city, urging her to confirm her acceptance. Her breath caught in her throat. "Looks like I have to respond soon," she said, half to herself and half to her father. He nodded, the weight of the moment settling between them again. "Whatever you choose, know this, I'm proud of you. And I'll always be here." Her heart swelled but uncertainty still loomed. With a mix of excitement and fear, Sarah faced the crossroads of her life. The societal expectations, family ties, and her dreams merged into one tangled question: who was she becoming? One last glance at her father showed him not just as her parent but as a kindred spirit, supportive yet knowing the pull of ambition. "Do I take a leap toward the unknown?" she whispered. The room was now quiet, the aftermath of stories lingering as she stood on the precipice of a decision. "Or do I stay and cultivate what's right in front of me?" Just as she felt ready to voice her choice, another buzz from her phone jolted her back, this time a phone call from the city. With her heart racing and emotions swirling, Sarah stared at the screen. Would she answer? What would that choice mean for her future? She took a deep breath and pressed accept, ready to confront whatever came next. "Hello?" Her voice trembled, balancing on the edge of anxiety and determination. The voice on the other end buzzed with excitement. "Sarah. It's Rebecca from the agency. I'm so glad you accepted my call. We're thrilled to hear from you." Sarah's heart raced, but she kept her breathing steady. She could picture Rebecca, bright and vibrant, a whirlwind in the bustling city. "Thanks. I was just about to send in my acceptance for the position," she replied, unsure if she sounded confident or uncertain. "That's fantastic. We've been waiting to get your application finalized. You'd be perfect for the team. This position will challenge you like nothing else, but it's also going to be rewarding. Think of the opportunities, the people you'd meet." Rebecca's enthusiasm flowed through the line, almost palpable. As she listened, Sarah felt her mind racing. Images of the city flashed past her, streets filled with lights, crowded cafes, and the endless hum of possibility. Yet each vision was juxtaposed against the warmth of the community center, the laughter, the bonds growing deeper by the minute. "Right, I understand. But what if she hesitated, feeling the pulse of doubt swell in her chest. "Sarah, I can hear you hesitating. What's really holding you back?" There was a gentleness in Rebecca's tone, a nudge for clarity. Sarah paused, the weight of her father's words echoed in her mind: balance, nurturing what you love. "It's just I feel torn between wanting to pursue my career and staying close to my family and friends here. What if I leave and everything changes?" Her voice was barely above a whisper, silence hung between them. Then, Rebecca spoke softly: "Change is hard, but stagnation can be even harder. You have to trust that your roots can help you navigate the new ground ahead. Remember, you can still come back and plant seeds here, too." Tears pricked at Sarah's eyes. It felt as if she was balancing on a tightrope suspended high above the ground. "But what if I lose touch with everyone?" she finally admitted, vulnerability spilling out of her like a parting curtain. "Distance can challenge relationships, but it can also deepen them. You'll be amazed at how love can stretch. And with today's technology, staying connected is easier than ever." Rebecca's words were a gentle push, encouraging her to take that leap. Sarah inhaled deeply. She could envision herself in the bustling city, armed with courage and ambition. But what would she leave behind? The faces of her friends and family blurred into a kaleidoscope of memories: their midnight talks, shared meals, the community that nurtured her. Maybe I can try," she said, her voice gaining strength. There it was again, the thrill of possibility, pushing against the weight of fear. Yes. I believe in you, Sarah, Rebecca exclaimed with renewed energy. Let us move forward. I can send you the finalized details and answer any questions you have. A smile crossed Sarah's face, and she felt the knots in her stomach loosen a little. That sounds great. Thank you. As she hung up, adrenaline rushed through her veins. Could she really go after this dream while still being present for her family? Her father was right, there was a way to balance both, she just had to carve it out. Sarah? Her father's voice broke through the haze around her. She turned to see him standing close by, concern etched on his face. Are you okay? Yeah, I think so. Her heart fluttered with a mix of excitement and anxiety as she relayed her conversation with Rebecca. I think you're going to be okay, he replied with pride in his eyes, enveloping her in a warm embrace. It's going to be an adventure, but we're with you every step of the way. The realization settled warm in her chest. She could be both Sarah, the ambitious young woman with dreams, and Sarah, the daughter, the friend who stayed rooted in love. Yet, the looming weight of the city, the job, her decision still hung in the air. Now I just have to figure out how to balance it all, she murmured, half to herself. The road ahead felt both thrilling and daunting, just as she thought about how to navigate this intriguing new chapter. Her phone buzzed again, a new message. The screen lit up with another surprise. Sarah, I hope you're ready, because the real challenge starts now. When can we meet? Every question crashed over her like waves, pulling her deeper into uncertainty while igniting a new resolve. Did she have what it took to build a bridge between her two worlds? The following morning, sunlight streamed through Sarah's window, filling her room with warmth and a hint of clarity. She tossed and turned, thoughts swirling around like leaves caught in a carefree breeze. The excitement of the job, the pulse of the city, kept calling her, but the comfort of home whispered sweetly in her ear. Just breathe, she whispered to herself, sitting up and brushing her hair back. Today was the day of her first meeting with Rebecca to discuss the position further and delve into what awaited her. As she prepared breakfast, the familiar sounds of the household buzzed lazily around her mother humming softly while making coffee, her brother laughing as he flipped through comic books on the couch. Big day ahead? Her mother asked, sliding a cup of steaming coffee across the table to join Sarah's plate. Yeah, she half smiled, mostly nervous energy bubbling just beneath the surface. I'm meeting with Rebecca to go over the details of the job. Her mother's brow lifted, genuine excitement lighting her features. That's amazing. I know you've been dreaming of this for a while now. Just remember to breathe. You've got this. Sarah soaked in her mother's belief, feeling brave enough to tackle the uncertainty ahead. Before she even had time to finish her breakfast, her phone buzzed again. It was a text from Rebecca. Can't wait to meet. Let us make it 2 p.m. Bring your questions. The simple message set her heart racing. She had a million questions, but all jumbled together like pieces of a puzzle. What if the job didn't live up to her dreams? What if she couldn't balance it all? Each query felt heavy as it danced around in her mind. Everything okay? Her brother asked, peeking over the top of his comic. Yeah, just thinking, Sarah replied, wanting to shield him from her inner turmoil. She didn't want to burden him with her indecision. After breakfast, she decided a walk might help clear her mind. The fresh air wrapped around her like a warm blanket as she set out towards the community center. The familiar path, lined with blooming flowers and leafy trees, felt soothing, grounded her anxious spirit. As she walked, she thought about her friends, those wild nights of laughter and endless talks about dreams and futures. Where did she fit into the growing tapestry of their lives? Would they support her new journey, or would her absence change everything? Each step echoed uncertainty and hope in equal measure. When she reached the center, familiar signs of life greeted her. Children played, adults chatted, and laughter triumphed over everything. Then, she spotted her best friend Sophie talking with a group and waved, feeling a wave of comfort wash over her. Hey, Sarah. You're just in time. Sophie called, her smile bright and warm. We're planning a community cleanup next weekend. Sounds fun. But her heart wasn't fully in it. The job tugged at the back of her mind like a child pulling at a parent's sleeve. Are you okay? Sophie asked, concern pricking the edges of her smile. You seem a bit off. Sarah hesitated, the weight of her uncertainty pushing down on her like an anchor. I'm just trying to figure everything out. Things might change soon. Sophie studied her, compassion shining from her eyes. You know we'll support you, right? No matter where you go. That simple affirmation lit a spark deep inside Sarah. Yeah, I know. I just want to be sure I'm making the right choices. As they chatted, Sarah felt the warmth of friendship enveloping her, igniting the fears crowding her thoughts. But was she ready to break free from this comforting circle? Could she really step into the unknown? With each passing moment, she felt time ticking down to her meeting with Rebecca, the decision looming ahead like a mountain she couldn't ignore. Okay, Sarah finally said, determination rising in her voice. I'm going to take that leap. But as she prepared to leave for her meeting, unease danced through her. What if this leap turned into a fall? Feeling the weight of her choices, she took a deep breath. Just as she stepped out, her phone dinged again. A text from Rebecca, looking forward to meeting. Don't forget to consider your worth. The weight of the world pressed down once more, mingled with excitement. Was she ready to discover the true value of her dream? The clock on the wall ticked ominously as Sarah slid into her car. It felt strange, the vehicle embodying freedom she craved, yet the road ahead felt daunting. She gripped the steering wheel tightly, letting out a shaky breath as she drove towards the coffee shop where she'd meet Rebecca. Each light she stopped at felt like a countdown, the minutes slipping away as her heart raced in tandem. When she arrived, the cafe buzzed with energy, the scent of roasted coffee beans blending with the chatter of hopeful patrons. It felt alive, just like the dreams swirling in her head. She spotted Rebecca immediately, a tall woman with a clustered bun and an inviting smile that seemed to soothe the chaos in the air. Sarah. Rebecca called, waving enthusiastically as she stood to greet her. Hey. Sarah replied, forcing a smile as she approached, her nerves bubbling beneath the surface. Let us grab a table, Rebecca suggested, leading them to a cozy corner away from the noise but close enough to the window that sunlight streamed in, casting a warm glow. So, tell me about yourself, Rebecca prompted, settling into her chair, pen poised over a notepad. Sarah took a deep breath, the thrill of the moment striking like a hammer in her chest. Well, I've just graduated and I'm passionate about community work. I love how it brings people together, you know? Absolutely. Rebecca nodded, her eyes twinkling. That's why we're so excited to have you on board. I know you'll bring that energy with you. What specific roles are you interested in? As they spoke, Sarah's initial hesitation began to melt away. She answered questions, the conversation flowing like coffee into cups. With every word, she could feel her fears lightening, replaced by a spark of determination. After discussing details about the position, Rebecca leaned forward, the warmth of her smile apparent. I believe in our mission here, and I see something special in you, Sarah. But it's important you feel it too. You must know your worth, especially in this field. What a concept. Sarah smiled, realizing the weight of her previous worries. For so long, she had been clouded by uncertainty. Yet, at this moment, she felt a flicker of belonging. But the shadows of self-doubt weren't gone entirely. She couldn't shake the thought that if she stepped into this world, the things she loved back home might slip away. Rebecca, can I be honest? Sarah said, her heart pounding. I really want to take this leap, but I'm afraid of leaving my family and friends behind. What if it changes everything? Rebecca looked thoughtful, her eyes kind. Change is scary, but it's also necessary for growth. And it doesn't mean you're abandoning anyone. You can still be present in their lives even while you're pursuing this dream. For a moment, the fear clenched Sarah's insides, yet the idea of keeping ties felt like a lifeline. So, it's okay to evolve? She asked, feeling the stirrings of hope push against the walls. Absolutely. Rebecca said enthusiastically. This journey will enrich you and in turn, enrich your relationships. Just think about it, what you can bring back to your community. The warmth in Sarah's chest blossomed, longing swelling within her. Could she really be enough to navigate this maze of choices ahead? The clock ticked on, time a gentle reminder of the path unfurling before her. As they wrapped up the meeting, Sarah's smile felt more real, more empowered. Rebecca handed her a brochure about the organization, an invitation to immerse herself fully. Make sure you think about your value, Rebecca said one last time, a mix of encouragement and challenge sparkling in her eyes. With a heart full of questions, Sarah stepped out of the cafe, the bustling city welcoming her back. The air felt different, charged with possibility. But in the back of her mind, another question lingered. How far was she willing to go to find out who she really was? As she pondered what that leap might mean, her phone buzzed again. A new text flashed on the screen, and her heart raced one more time. Your new life awaits. Are you ready? The weight of the unknown settled heavily once more. Was she ready to embrace it? The city buzzed around Sarah as she stepped onto the sidewalk, her heart still racing from the conversation with Rebecca. The brochure felt almost foreign in her hand, filled with promises and expectations. Skimming the colorful pages, her mind drifted back to the warmth of the cafe, the way Rebecca had looked at her, not just as another prospective employee, but as a person bursting with potential, but potential came with a price. She glanced up at the clear blue sky, sunlight spilling like honey across the street. The world felt wider, yet her thoughts clung to familiar faces, her parents, her friends, the community that had shaped her. She paused, leaning against the cool metal of a nearby pole. Wasn't it possible that growing meant carrying those cherished connections with her? Didn't love have a way of stretching, bending, but never breaking? A smile crept onto her face as she thought of her best friend, Lisa, who had always supported her dreams, urging her to leap beyond the boundaries of their small town. But could she do it without feeling guilty? Sarah took a deep breath, fighting against the swell of emotion. Suddenly, her phone buzzed again, jolting her from her thoughts. Another text. Hey. Want to meet at the park later? It was Lisa. Feeling an instinctive pull, she replied, sure. Can't wait to see you. A wave of nostalgia washed over her as she imagined their usual spot by the lake, laughter echoing through years of shared memories. As she made her way, the scenery shifted from concrete to greenery, the path ahead clear now, yet it twisted with uncertainty. The decision loomed larger as she slipped between benches and trees, each step feeling heavier with the weight of her choices. When she arrived at the park, Lisa was already seated, sipping an iced coffee. Her face lit up when she saw Sarah. Hey. You look different. Excited? Maybe a bit nervous. I just had a meeting about a new job opportunity, Sarah began, hesitation choking her words. The excitement on Lisa's face was contagious, yet anxiety wrapped cold fingers around her heart. But, I'm scared of what it might mean for everything back home. Lisa took a sip, her expression thoughtful. Sarah, you've always wanted more. The world is bigger than our little bubble. And what if I step out and realize I don't belong anywhere? Sarah's voice cracked, vulnerability spilling over. It was a fear she hadn't dared to voice. Lisa pondered, resting her chin on her hand. You belong wherever you choose to plant yourself. Sometimes it's about creating new roots. Sarah watched a couple stroll by, hand in hand, laughter spilling from their lips. The possibility of belonging somewhere new felt both thrilling and terrifying. I want to make a difference, Sarah admitted softly, but what if I lose my family along the way? You won't, Lisa said firmly. You'll always be the same person, just larger. Don't let fear chain you to what's comfortable. The moment hung between them, charged with emotion, the weight of their shared history palpable. Suddenly, her phone vibrated again, the screen lighting up with another message. Don't forget, meetings start next week. Are you ready? A knot formed in her stomach. Was she really prepared to dive headfirst into this new life? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting everything in shades of gold, Sarah felt a shift within herself. There was a path before her, a chance to embrace the unknown. Close friends, supportive words, and emerging dreams all collided, creating a meaningful bridge into her future. But would that future include everything she held dear? A sudden breeze rustled the leaves above, a gentle reminder of life's constant change. Sarah? Lisa's voice pulled her back. Are you okay? With the golden hue brightening her eyes, she realized she was at a crossroads. And while exhilaration danced in her heart, a new question emerged. Was she brave enough to take the first step toward her new life, even if it meant letting go of the old? The decision loomed, as enticing as it was terrifying. And as night began to fall, Sarah knew her journey was just beginning. As the last rays of sunlight melted into twilight, Sarah felt a mix of warmth and apprehension wash over her. The sky deepened into rich purples and blues, stars flickering to life one by one. She glanced over at Lisa, whose steady gaze was filled with encouragement. It was as if Lisa could sense the swirl of emotions in Sarah's heart, and it gave her a sliver of confidence. Are you really going to do it? Lisa asked, her voice softly pushing Sarah to confront her fears. I don't know, Sarah confessed, the honesty making her throat tight. What if it goes terribly? What if everything changes? We change, Sarah. That's life. But the love? That doesn't disappear. It only grows. The truth of Lisa's words sank in like a soft whisper. Clenching the brochure tightly, she felt its edges dig into her palm. This opportunity symbolized everything she had ever wanted but also everything she feared losing. Taking a deep breath, Sarah leaned back, feeling the coolness of the metal bench against her. What if I move and find out it was all a mistake? I could end up feeling so alone, she said, her voice barely a whisper. Lisa reached over, squeezing her hand. You're never alone, even if you feel distant. You have us, your family. Follow your dreams. You have the whole world to explore, but home will always be your foundation. Sarah's heart began to race again, but this time it felt lighter, buoyed by the unwavering support of her friend. Her thoughts drifted to her parents, the sacrifices they made, their unwavering belief in her. They wouldn't want her to stifle her growth. Suddenly, a jogger passed by, earbuds in, a look of pure joy on their face. It struck Sarah how every person around her was on their path, each carrying their own assortment of dreams, fears, and stories. Wasn't that what life was about? Embracing the journey, regardless of the outcome? Maybe I do want to try, she said, feeling a spark ignite within her. Even if it's hard, even if I struggle at first, I want to know more than just this place. I want to grow. Lisa's eyes sparkled brighter than the stars above. That's the spirit. And if it feels too fast, you can always come back. Home will be here waiting. A wave of gratitude crashed over Sarah, reflecting the love and acceptance she had often underestimated. There would be challenges, but she could face them with the groundwork of a supportive family beneath her. For a moment, silence hung between them, filled with shared hope and excitement. It felt like preparing to leap off a diving board into a pool, the air thick with anticipation and the splash below promising refreshment. Okay. I'll do it. I'll give the job my all, she declared, more resolute now. Life's possibilities unfolded before her, vibrant and uncharted, yet comforting in acknowledging her roots. They shared a laugh, the tension melting away. As darkness settled in and the park lights flickered on, illuminating their small corner of the world, Sarah summoned her courage. But there was still the nagging thought, what if something happened while she was away? Hey, Lisa. Yeah? What if I take this leap and our friendship isn't the same? What if I lose you? Lisa leaned closer, sincerity radiating from her. Sarah, a true friendship withstands distance, time, and change. You're not losing me, you're just expanding into who you're meant to be. Remember our pact? We are in this together, no matter where life takes us. Sarah felt the weight of those words resonate within her. Their pact, a promise of friendship, no matter the miles between them, could remain strong. Yet as she gazed into the deepening night, she couldn't shake the doubts lingering just out of reach. A difficult realization settled into her chest. Though excitement bubbled at the surface, she could already sense the heartache that accompanies new beginnings. In that moment, she understood her journey was just starting and the choices ahead held great potential. The question now loomed larger: what else would she sacrifice in her pursuit of a life that truly fulfilled her? And just as she opened her mouth to respond, a flutter of motion caught her eye. A little girl spun around in a carefree dance, unscripted and joyous, chasing the echoes of laughter, lost in a world of wonder. Wasn't that the essence of living? To chase after joy, even amid uncertainty? Could she embrace that philosophy? The breeze picked up, whispering through the leaves, as if promising adventures yet to come. Would Sarah be brave enough to embrace all that awaited her, no matter the sacrifices? Little did she know, soon enough, her heart would be tested in ways she never expected. The morning sun, a bright splash of yellow against the blue sky, ushered in a new day, one filled with hope and uncertainty. Sarah stood in her room, reviewing the packing list she had scribbled hurriedly the night before. A melange of excitement and anxiety twisted in her stomach as she surveyed the familiar surroundings that had cocooned her for so long. Each item she selected felt like a moment of farewell. The old stuffed bear from childhood, a couple of heartfelt letters hidden in a drawer, and photos capturing smiles shared with family and friends. She paused, her finger hesitating on the edge of a particularly candid snapshot of her and Lisa at a carnival. They were both mid-laugh, mouths wide open, cheeks flushed with joy. Their arms were around each other, a moment frozen that felt like the very essence of their friendship. "What's wrong, Sarah?" Her mother's voice broke through her thoughts, sounding gentle yet concerned. She stepped into the doorway, hands on her hips, an expression of maternal intuition mixed with pride. Sarah turned, swallowing hard. "I guess I'm just, I don't know, nervous." Her mom walked over, her presence a calming balm. "It's okay to feel that way. Change is hard, but it can also be beautiful. Remember when you first learned to ride a bike? You were scared, too. But you got on, wobbled a bit, and look where it took you." A small smile tugged at Sarah's lips. Her mother had always been her anchor, encouraging her to embrace life's challenges. "You're right," she admitted, her heartbeat slowly evening out. "I just hope I don't mess up or disappoint anyone." "You won, her mom assured, placing a reassuring hand on Sarah's shoulder. "You're following your dreams, sweetie. And we're all behind you." As the hours wore on, she found herself surrounded by her family, packing their car for her departure. A blend of excited chatter and bittersweet goodbyes filled the air. Her younger brother, Adam, lounged on the driveway, holding her favorite hoodie while trying to look indifferent. But she could see the small tremors in his hands. "You better keep in touch, okay?" "I will. I promise," she said, bending down to ruffle his hair. It felt strange leaving him. They were closer than most siblings, sharing secrets and late-night snacks until the early dawn. Her father nodded solemnly from the back of the car, his brows slightly furrowed. "Just remember, no matter where you go, home is always here," he said, voice steady yet emotive. "And we want you to soar." The words hit her heart like a soft punch, reminding her why she was making this leap. As exciting as it was, she couldn't ignore the ache of leaving her sanctuary behind. After packing the last bag, they gathered for a quick group hug. Sarah inhaled deeply, soaking in this moment, engraving every scent and sound into her memory, like a photograph. It felt both sacred and fleeting that it wasn't until she settled into the passenger seat, her hand resting on the door handle, that her earlier confidence began to wane. The weight of reality crashed over her. She was actually leaving. As the car pulled away, she saw Lisa standing by the curb, waving enthusiastically. Sarah's heart tightened at the sight of her friend. How she wished she were there right next to her. Just like that, a fresh wave of doubt swept over her. What if the distance changed everything? "Sarah?" Lisa's voice echoed in her mind. "You're not losing me, but was that true?" The road stretched ahead, a ribbon of possibility blending with uncertainty. Each mile brought a mix of excitement and fear, a duality that made her heart race. What awaited her in the new city? Would she fit in? And most importantly, what if her bond with Lisa started to fray? With every turn, anticipation turned a little sourer, twisting the joyful feelings into anxiety. As they drove further away from her childhood home, she spotted a sign for a park, one they used to visit together. Memories flooded her, layers unfolding before her eyes. Laughing kids, twilight picnics, secrets whispered beneath the stars. Could she trust the pull of the adventure ahead? Could she grow without losing her roots? With a sudden resolve, she leaned back in her seat, staring out at the world beyond a canvas waiting for her brush. But, as excitement bubbled anew, the question lingered heavily. What truly would come of her friendships when faced with changing landscapes? Because soon enough, challenges would present themselves, testing her heart in ways she never anticipated. As the car drove closer and closer to the city, the familiar suburban landscape faded into a blur of concrete and steel. The tension in Sarah's heart twisted tighter with each passing moment, but there was also a current of excitement bubbling within her. She was on the brink of something new, something she had dreamed of for so long. Once they arrived, the city sprawled out in front of her, vibrant and alive. She abandoned her bags in her apartment, the empty space a canvas for new beginnings. The first week flew by, filled with meetings and introductions, the city buzzing around her like a carousel of possibilities. Yet each exciting moment was shadowed by thoughts of home. Even with the thrill of new adventures, she longed for the familiar warmth, the echoes of laughter among friends and family. One evening, after a long day of training, Sarah plopped onto her new couch, exhaustion heavy on her eyelids. She grabbed her phone, her fingers hovering over Lisa's contact. The sound of stillness in her new apartment felt deafening, the distance amplifying her loneliness. With a deep breath, she pressed call. Sarah. I'm so glad you called. Lisa's voice burst through the phone, lighting up the dim room. It poured over Sarah like sunlight. How are you settling in? I'm doing okay, she replied, her uncertainty creeping into her voice. But I miss everyone. Even the silly little things, you know? I feel like I've lost my balance. There was a pause, and Sarah's heart raced, fear swelling in her chest. Of course you do. It's a big change. But remember what we talked about, growing doesn't mean forgetting, Lisa encouraged, warmth spilling through the speaker. You're building a life there. Can you tell me about it? Sarah let the words tumble out as she described her new job, the office filled with vibrant energy, creative faces, and the thrill of brainstorming new ideas. I think I'm starting to feel the energy of the city, she confessed. It's just different. Different is good. You're finding your place, Lisa said, her voice a steady anchor across the miles. Just imagine how much you'll have to share when you visit home. And don't forget to take time to explore. Those words soaked deep into Sarah's heart, a balm for her homesickness. You're right. I need to embrace this, not just endure it. They talked about the little things, memories from their childhood, plans for the next visit, the possibility of shared experiences that lay ahead. As days turned into weeks, Sarah's world began to expand. She formed connections with her new colleagues, bonded over coffee breaks and brainstorming sessions. Slowly, she navigated the delicate dance of work-life balance, blending the thrill of her job with moments of quiet reflection. In her downtime, she explored the city by flinging herself into its vibrant corners, artists painting murals on building walls, food stalls bursting with exotic flavors, and parks where life felt just a heartbeat away. With every new experience, she was building a life quilted with memories, each patch holding a story of courage and growth. But as the months slipped by, the tug on her heartstrings grew stronger. She missed the stories shared at the community center. One night, as the city lights glittered outside her apartment window, Sarah felt something change within her. She reached for her notebook, the familiar pages waiting to catch her thoughts. I am Sarah Johnson, she wrote. I am an ambitious writer. I am a daughter, a friend, and a storyteller. She poured her heart onto those pages like a river breaking free, reflecting on her journey and the bond she had with her family, friends, and the city. With newfound determination, Sarah decided it was time to embrace the connections she valued most. She started planning her first visit back home. It sparked an idea, a way to bring her two worlds together. What if she organized a community storytelling night in her city, just like the one she had in her hometown? She could bridge the gap, connecting her old and new lives. As she poured her energy into planning, she felt a sense of purpose blooming within her. She reached out to her community back home, inviting them to partake in the city event through video calls, sharing their stories, their lives, their resilience. The evening of the storytelling event in the city arrived, and Sarah's heart raced with excitement. Just like before, familiar faces appeared on the screen, joining her like a patchwork quilt of love and memory. They welcomed each story shared with warmth and laughter, bringing pieces of her past into her present moment. In that beautifully blended space, Sarah realized she hadn't lost anything at all. Instead, she had woven together the essence of her home's the nurturing embrace of family with the thrilling energy of the city. When the last story was shared, Sarah looked around at her friends, her family, her colleagues, from both places, and felt tears of joy spill from her eyes. They were connected by the fabric of storytelling, binding through shared struggles and dreams. "Thank you," she said meekly, holding the microphone close. "I thought I had to choose between two lives, two loves. But I am whole in both." As the cheers and applause echoed, she saw her father's proud smile, Lisa's beaming face on the screen, and for the first time since her move, Sarah felt a deep sense of peace settle within her heart. She had not just taken a leap, she had soared. This was her story, and she was ready to keep writing it, one vibrant chapter at a time. And as she breathed it all in the love, the connection, the thrill of her journey ahead, she resolved to never forget her roots, to nourish the bonds that held her together, and to chase her dreams fearlessly. Now, dear friends, if you felt inspired by Sarah's incredible journey of transformation and hope, you need to subscribe now so you won't miss out on the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like right now to feed the algorithm and keep this journey alive. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformation. Your support matters more than you know.